Hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
How are we?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Yeah, fantastic. Testing ASMR.
Don't do that, mate.
How you doing, Abby?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Update me on your clients.
Yeah, it was good.
Come on, give us some goss.
Um, yeah, he's signed the contract, deposit paid.
Fucking hell. And they came from LinkedIn. Excuse my language.
No, this one didn't.
Where do they
This
come
one
from?
came from a VA directory.
Oh, okay. Do they feel like a good fit?
Yes,
Why?
because they work with motorsport.
Do they really? And that's
Yeah. No, they
you're a
actually
big.
do. So I support McLaren, and that's one of their clients.
Ah, wicked. And that's just by chance.
Just chance.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
to be fair, it looks on my website.
Okay. Oh, right. Oh, what? And it says F1 enthusiast on there.
Think it does, yeah.
I bloody hope so. How you doing, James Hartley? He's on mute.
Morning,
Where
morning. Hello,
where,
everyone.
where are you?
I'm back in London. I flew back.
How was Lisbon?
Lisbon was great. I want to move there immediately.
It's same time zone. Everyone talks about it. Same
Yeah,
time zone. You
yeah,
can.
it was
You'd be
fun.
able to. You know that because I think you can get a visa.
Yeah, one step at a time, Ben.
Okay, sorry. You've got your French house anyway.
Well, yeah, exactly. So no, Lisbon was really good. Social weekend, and then on a conference the last few days. So which has been content rich.
Good. I want to hear all about it afterwards. Noxie, how are we?
Yeah, good. Yeah, not a bad week.
Go on. Why do you say not bad? Let's give us some goss.
Well, I got a client call after this call actually, so
Nice. Where do they come
hopefully
from?
get them on board. From my Instagram actually, just replied. I've known them. I went to school with them.
Okay.
They just replied in the DMs, just saying they're interested in investing. So
Oh, brilliant,
hopping
mate.
on a call with him at 12:30.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah.
Make sure they're a good fit.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's sort of, if he's keen about it from the first few posts, then he's obviously thinking about his money. So that's good.
Yeah. We're going to come on to this today, actually.
Yeah.
So, James Knox and James Hartley, Abby, you might not have seen this. I posted on the Personal Brand Hub community platform about how I want to move forward with these group sessions. Starting today, and we started. Did we do it last week? We sort of did we didn't really do a presentation last week, did we? Did I? I can't remember. I think I did
It
do
was
a
more like
presentation.
collaborative, wasn't it?
It was much more involved,
Yeah.
right? Now, this week, I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm not going to do a presentation at all. So what we're going to do is make it a collaborative session where you can bring your wins and losses for the week. We can talk about how to make content ideas for you, James, today in particular, Knox. We can talk about potential opportunities that you've got coming up that I could help you prepare for. Because if someone is struggling with it, I guarantee there are other people in the room that are also struggling with it too. And for example, next week we touch on podcasts because James Hartley's got one coming up, then, for example, if James Knox is in the room, then it might encourage you to go and find a podcast for yourself, go and hunt one out, and then the tactics and the things that we discuss in next week's session, you could then use for yourself. Okay. So it's going to be a lot less planned and a bit more reactive in terms of helping you guys on a weekly basis. What's working, what's not working, what can we improve? Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hartley, James Hartley?
Yes. I speaking personally, I quite like to mix and match because like some of the content that have come from these sessions has been really super helpful.
Okay.
So I mean, it'd be interesting to see how the dialogue goes. But even like started the meeting with like one top tip, so you don't have to do like a full presentation, but one pearl of wisdom from Ben's Mountain. I'd really appreciate, because the content is super helpful.
Yeah, I'll second that as well.
Sorry, James.
I'll second that as well.
Yeah. Okay. So what? Okay. So it's still. I'm still doing preparation for these calls. It's not out of like want to not do the presentations. It's more that I want to actually help you guys what's literally going on for you on a day-to-day basis, rather than me, as James said, sat on the top of a mountain going, oh, I think you guys might need help with this week. And then you're sat there going, well, I didn't need help with that at all, but thanks anyway.
I think what it does, Ben, certainly for me, is sparks that thinking about what we might be thinking about. Because if you kind of come in cold, you're thinking, right, okay, what am I really struggling with, or what's difficult? Whereas if you talk about one thing, I think that might just kind of start the creative juices.
Yeah. Well, this week I do have a plan in mind, which is
always prepared, Ben. That's what I
this week I do have a plan in mind, and it's sort of going back to basics, so to speak, but I think it's going to be really valuable for you guys. And we're going to be talking about creating content ideas, basically. So it's going to give you the long-term skills to how to identify content in everyday conversation. And in particular, we're going to help James Knox today, because you have made the leap, James Knox, to get on camera and start building up that cadence with creating content. First question, I'm going to put it to Abby, if that's okay. How are you creating or coming up with content ideas at the moment? If at all. If at all.
I don't think this will surprise you. I have a whole system.
Okay.
For it. Yeah, I do all right. So
yeah,
I have like different things that I focus on, and then any ideas I store them, and then I try and reuse content as well, so that I'm not constantly having to rewrite stuff as well. So I try and reuse like one thing per week.
Good tip. You repurpose it.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so you're using it across different formats.
Yeah, but when I come up with an idea, I just write it down, and they come from different things. So like your emails, I have another person that emails.
You're getting
just
content
like client conversations.
You're getting content ideas from my emails. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's good feedback.
And then just like client conversations.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay, brilliant. So you're listening to client conversations proactively.
Yeah.
What are you listening out for?
Whatever. Like struggles they have, anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Abby, sorry, I don't think you've met James Hartley, have you? James Hartley, you haven't met Abby, have you?
No. Hi, Abby.
Abby, do you want to do, after last week, do you want to do a little intro? No. Go on, introduce. Oh, Abby. Abby is a wonderful VA, F1 enthusiast. We've done a little bit of work together. And you've attracted 2 clients in the past week, haven't you? Well, 2 inquiries, should we say? And one, as we were just saying, is perfectly aligned for you and your interest, because it's motorsport. So it's funny how, in a subtle way, maybe energy has attracted energy there. You've been putting out into the world that you've been sharing more of your passions in motorsport and F1, and guess what's happened? You've attracted a client in motorsport.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant. James Knox, right, over to you, buddy. How are you coming up with content ideas at the moment? You're on this treadmill now, so where are they coming from? How are you thinking of them?
I think because it's still quite early on, most of it's just me thinking on the spot, really, just up in my head. I do get a bit of help from ChatGPT for things like that.
What are you asking ChatGPT? Give me content ideas.
No, it's just sort of more, I want to talk about this today. how can I sort of make it into a video for Instagram kind of thing. Just sort of like the format of how I talk about the content.
How are you coming up with topics then?
I'm just thinking about them really. It's just things that I want to. There was one where in my first post, someone left a comment, you know, asking how do we actually start getting invested. So then my next piece of content was a video on just how to get started, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you feel like your content is teaching people how to do your job, or do you feel like it's educating them on how you help them?
I think
at the moment?
I'm aiming on the education side. I mean, it's important that my clients know what I'm doing with their money. I don't want them just to go into it blindly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing it with their money because I'm not qualified, but just what I do behind the scenes, really.
Yeah. Who are you writing for at the moment? Who are you creating content for?
It's mostly just for younger people who want to get into investing or know a bit more about it. And then from my content, hopefully they get a bit of a background knowledge of the fundamentals.
And you're speaking to these young people at the moment. You've got a call later with one.
Yeah.
What kind of question, I can help you here, would you ask them to get a content idea off the back of that conversation at 12:30? That also helps you understand where they're at as well.
I don't really know. Maybe
anyone else can jump in here.
Maybe why did they book a call with you up front, and then at the end of the call, what was their biggest takeaway, or what have they thought about differently at the end of the call that they hadn't at the start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Write that down, James.
Yeah, I've got my iPad here with my notes outside.
Because that was really good from the other James there. Yeah, spot on. So, like, literally the easiest question you can ask someone to understand where you might be able to help them, and also a content idea is, why am I here today? Why have you booked this call? Why are we here today? Right, and that's going to set out clearly what you need to deliver within the call, and it's also going to give you probably a pretty good content idea off the back of that.
Okay.
And I'll give you an anecdote of this. I had Ben on my shoulder at the conference I was just at.
Yeah.
How it's really rich content. So I was at this conference, and one of the organizers asked if I would be a willing volunteer to go and do an AI demo on stage.
Okay.
I did, but I remembered afterwards to ask him why had he asked me to do the demo rather than anybody else.
Oh right, I see. Yeah.
And it was a great quote that I could then use in my post about the whole experience of doing the demo. So it was just an added bit that, you know, Ben was saying, you know, use comments to prove your credibility. And it's like, well, okay, this is why he asked me to make a fool of myself on rather than anybody else.
And to add to that, you can, what will happen quite often, so maybe with your call later, James Knox, you might say, he might say, well, I saw your piece of content and I really liked it. And a lot of people will go, oh, thanks. You know, you really it strokes your ego, right? It's big. That's an important part to recognize. But what you can do off the back of that is go, why?
Yeah.
Why did it resonate with you? And I do that all the time, and it stops people in their tracks, and they're like, oh, fucking hell, Ben. You know, I'm on calls with people quite a lot that have reached out to me and said, well, I love your content. It aligns with me. Then I entertain a coffee chat. Then I get them on the call and I say, why did it align with you? What's resonating? What's aligning with you? What's resonating with you? Because, you know, the first sign is the first tick is they're saying, oh, it's aligning with me. Great. But if you want to dig deeper and you want to get more content ideas and you want to refine your messaging and you want to refine your content, you need to keep asking why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Why are you resonating with it?
because I think at the moment my biggest not sales thing, but the thing is that I can sort of resonate with these people because I've grown up with them. Like my friend from school who's I'm cool with later, he's thinking, oh, it can't be investing can't be, you know, that not difficult, but just sort of because it's got sort of that
unreachable.
Yeah, it's got sort of that reputation that is only for people who, you know, are in a full-time job, they're in their 30s.
And you want to smash that misconception, do you?
Yeah, yeah. So I think me doing it has sort of got to quite a few of these people and thinking, oh, if someone my age is doing it, why can't I start getting
You've
into
inspired
it?
people.
Yeah, I mean, but that's amazing, James. You know, just hearing you say that is like so powerful for your brand.
Yeah, I think that is sort of the biggest thing is my resonation with these with
And you're inspiring. So I think
viewership. Yeah.
So, you know, I think you're in a, I wouldn't say lucky position, you create your own luck, but you're in a fantastic position.
Yeah.
And don't take this for granted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That you're young, you can resonate, and you're inspiring naturally. You're not putting much effort into it. Your goal now is to, and this is hopefully what we're going to touch on today, is the content piece. So making sure that you keep inspiring, you keep resonating, and it's hitting the right notes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as a caveat, we discussed this last week, creating content is training a muscle.
Yeah.
Right. And you recognize that yourself without me even saying it.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Just like going to the gym, but you have to start somewhere. And you've started. So pat on the back, well done. Now the job is refining it to not only resonate, inspire, and educate, but also so it feels good for you as well. So it feels natural. At the moment, let's go deeper on how you're. See, we've talked about how you're coming up with content ideas. They're coming off the top of your head. You're putting into ChatGPT. How are you? Be completely honest here. How are you writing the scripts? Are you using ChatGPT for that, or are you using okay,
ChatGPT.
Right. Okay. Do you feel like the scripts reflect your knowledge and your expertise?
I feel like they do.
Yeah.
But then it's sort of in a more not very colloquial when it's used through ChatGPT. It's more.
So what are you doing to make it sound more like you?
I just try and change the odd word for something I'd use instead of what ChatGPT has done.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do quite like just having something that I can follow when I'm doing my content, just because at the moment I find it a bit challenging. So it's nice just to have that.
Totally, I get
that.
Totally
get that. Sort of refer to.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
You could still use ChatGPT to help. What I would suggest is you write out a rough draft. Doesn't need to be polished or finished or finalized. Doesn't need to be the full length of like the 60 seconds or the 30 seconds that you want the video to be, but at least make some notes. Have you ever tried using the dictation tool on ChatGPT?
No.
If you press the little microphone, the bottom right, you can just start talking and you can just brain dump onto it. Okay. So what I would suggest is you just click that record, and this is what I do constantly. I'll just start turning into like Lenin here when I'm I'll just start reeling off stuff because that's how I best work, right? Rather than sat here being a keyboard warrior. I'll press the dictation button on ChatGPT and then I'll reel off an idea. I'm like, right, here's a brain dump of a content idea I want to make. And then I just reel off everything that's in my head, and then I go refine that into a content idea. Then it produces something, and I go, well, that's shit. And then I go change this, and change this. So the first port of call, I think, moving forward for you should be you, the human, and then use ChatGPT to help you extrapolate on that idea.
Okay.
Rather than going, ChatGPT, give me an idea, ChatGPT, write the content idea in full for me, because then it's not James at all.
So I have your initial input and then
Initial input, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So it just sort of helps the AI sort of adjust to.
You should be working alongside AI. You shouldn't be using it to replace you.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous game. There's no problem with AI at all. It's just about using it correctly. They say that the ones that are going to succeed, service providers like us, the ones that are going to succeed with AI are the ones that use it to deepen the human connection with people. So I'm talking about automation and stuff like that. Touch points. I've got a lot of automation set up with people when I onboard my clients, etc. That's not AI, but it's deepening that human connection with people. Is what you should be aiming for, rather than replacing you, because then what's the point of you?
Yeah.
Why should anyone buy from you? You are 90% of the reason people buy from you. I've said this in my content before. It's your personal brand. It's people are not. Yeah, okay. I could ask you the question: what are people typically struggling with to approach you? In fact, if you could answer that question for me now, what typically are people struggling with? What's the pain point when they reach out to you?
Well, they're just confused with what to do with their money. They just don't really know what to do with it after. They might get trust funds, or they're getting paid, but they're still living at home, so they don't have many costs and things.
Okay, so the trigger points are, I've got one there, trust funds. So they could be getting a trust fund. What else could a trigger point be?
Lucky them.
Sorry, James?
Lucky them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that. Who's got a trust fund? Yeah. Exeter.
Yeah.
Go on. What other trigger points?
What for them?
In fact, I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to show you a tool that not a tool, but a technique that I use. And it is, we're going to do this for you, James. Okay. Client pain points. Can you see that all right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Just haven't checked there. Client pain points and challenges. So I want you to reel off, we can get in a bit of a rhythm here, reel off some typical challenges that your ideal clients face, James Knox. So I got you started. I've received inheritance. Would that be a good one?
Yeah.
Inheritance. And I have no clue what to do. This is a fucking golden content idea right here. If you speak to that pain point, I have no idea what to do with. Keep going. Come on, all of you.
Maybe they don't really know much about lack of knowledge, or not lack of knowledge. But
Okay, pretty broad one. Yeah, I have no clue what to do with my money in my bank.
And they just don't really know what the stock market's about, or what
is a stock market. Yeah, okay, I see where you've gone with that then. Yeah, okay.
And I think tax efficiency is also quite an important point, because people want to generate quite a large return, but then
so how do we okay, we want to generate a large return. How do I be more tax efficient? How can
and then maybe sort of having an appropriate risk, because everyone has a different sort of attitude to risk with investments, I mean. And it's just sort of helping the individual figure out what their risk appetite is. And because most people, when they're younger, can sort of afford higher risk.
Do you know two really good people to ask?
What was that, sorry?
You know, two really good people to ask are the other two in the room, because they're not the expert in what you do. So they will give you content ideas. People that don't do what you do will give you the best content ideas. So let's go to Abby and James and say, what misconceptions do you have when it comes to money, finances, tax, etc.? When you were young, maybe, if you can think back, not that long ago.
Yeah. Flattery will get you everywhere, Ben. I got a pay rise. What should I do with the extra money?
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Abby?
I'm still thinking.
Oh, bless. It's okay.
Um,
I'm trying to think with me. Is a credit card worthwhile, James Knox, or is that pointless? If it is, just be honest.
I think
Don't try
for
and.
me it's more investment side of things.
Got you. Right, totally fine. There we go.
But I do think a credit card is a good idea.
yeah, there's something you mentioned actually, James Knox, on a previous call about like if you start putting into a pension net young, the incremental value that would have down the line.
Yeah, so if you start investing, say when you're 20, and you just put, I think it's £100 in every month, just out of your paycheck. When you come to retire, it will be worth about 1.5 million. Whereas if you started, this is taking into consideration that the market just continues at the same rate that it's been, which obviously isn't going to happen, but it's just sort of a baseline. And then compared to a 30-year-old starting investing, £100 a month, by the time they retire, it will be worth 500,000. So there's £1 million difference just from that 10-year period where you could invest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that's headline grabbing.
Yeah, because I used that exact example in my first content piece, and I think a lot of people were just like blown away by it. Really, they were like, "Oh my god, surely that's not true." But then it's just what compound interest does.
Definitely. Do you know a really good way to help people understand that through video content?
What's that?
Using props.
Oh, right. Okay.
You're in quite a good position in doing what you do because you're talking about money.
Yeah.
Where you can use props. Now, it could be anything from Lego to an object, any fucking object, right? Sorry, Abby.
Yeah.
What was
Said
that?
spoons.
Spoons.
So no, someone used spoons as a comparison for when people have like ME and illness and stuff like that, to how their energy to how many spoons they have.
Ah, well, there you go.
You
Okay,
can Google
right.
it later.
So James Knox, take what Abby just said and tell me now how you might be able to use not spoons maybe, but Lego or something, or a prop to symbolize or to act as money. So say if I'm not going to stop speaking.
Yeah, well, I guess when I'm my content, usually I'm on sort of my daily walk and then talking to the camera.
Yeah.
So
do you think you could do something in your office though?
Yeah, I was thinking, looking around my desk, seeing if there's anything.
Go in the house.
Yeah.
The more obscure and weird the object is, the more people are like, what on earth is that?
The more memorable it is as well.
Sorry?
I was just saying the more memorable it is with the object.
Yeah, totally. And you could potentially use the same object every time, and then it creates that memorability and that obscurity around what you do, because then you'd be known as James, the guy who, I don't know, uses spoons. Look, being stupid here, but it's tedious stuff, but it helps you become more memorable.
Yeah.
You want to, I haven't done this, so I'm not preaching, but what you can do is create a theme around your content. You can create themes around your personal brand as well. Part of the theme of my personal brand is I have a mustache, for example. That's slightly unique. Part of your personal brand could be an item of clothing. If you go to face-to-face networking events, there's always a plonker with maybe a purple suit or something like that.
Tread very carefully, Mr. Stickland. Tread very carefully.
Why? What? Do you wear wacky clothing?
No problem.
Oh, the hats, trilby hats.
Well, I was actually thinking of a purple check jacket that I've got. So
Oh, have you? Oh, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't.
and you're not going to now, given that.
No, I wasn't slagging. I was saying it was a good thing. You know, it could be memorable.
Yeah, I think I heard plonker in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, sorry. But it's how to stand out, and it could be, yeah, it could be silly things, words, phrases, clothes, anything, right? You could be the guy who says this phrase, you know, or something like that. What's something, James Knox, that anything that you could be associated with? What's something people know you for? If I go to my little brother and say, what do you know Noxie for? What would he say?
Probably the gym, maybe, I guess.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's
Just
part of your personal brand.
staying
Fitness.
in rather than going out.
Staying in rather than going out.
Yeah,
I'm your
working
mate
on
who
this
knows
kind
what
of
to do with
stuff.
money and doesn't go clubbing.
Yeah.
The 19-year-old that doesn't go clubbing.
Yeah.
So, okay, funny piece. There's a good thread you could follow there. You could lead a gang. This is probably the wrong term, but you could lead a movement of young kids that are sick of going out, don't want to go out anymore, and instead want to invest their money or spend their money wisely. Because there are kids out there that do that, and it can be that would create quite a polarizing thing as well, because there'll be other kids out there be like, mate, just enjoy life, chill out, go and party, go and enjoy your young years. And that is going to add fuel to the fire, mate.
Okay.
Because it's going to help you become more memorable.
Yeah.
So what we've done there, do you see what we've done? So we've got the piece about you not going out, staying in,
Yeah.
and we've turned it into a potential movement that you can stand for.
So I think that's the problem with my content at the moment, is it's too educational in a way. I mean,
Okay. So how do we turn these pain points?
I've got another pain point to add.
Go
Thought
on,
about
Abby.
one, sorry.
That's all right.
I would query at a young age, people who want to get onto the property ladder would say that they're trying to invest in that. So how would you balance the two types of investments? Like I would say that's a big thing in your 20s is getting onto the property ladder.
yeah.
Saving for the future and a property or something like that. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, now Noxie, over to you. How do you turn these into engaging content ideas?
Well, the one that Abby's,
they can still be educational, mate. There's nothing wrong with education.
yeah, because the one that Abby just brought up is quite interesting actually, because you can sort of combine investing and property, because there's a lifetime ISA, where you can put up to £4,000 in every tax year, and the government will give you back £1,000 for every 4,000 you put in, and you have to spend it on your first property, and you have to live in it as well. But then that's sort of like quite a good way just to get into property, get your first property up and running, with a 25% rate of return guaranteed. So I've already mentioned ELISA in one of my videos actually, but then I can sort of do a deeper dive into
Don't be afraid to repeat stuff.
Yeah, and just
go
go
Coca-Cola adverts. They're fucking everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like think of like a couple of like, so I do it, so like my main client is overwhelmed business owners, small business owners. So like I would have like a couple of, and then like the key, so like I use like all of my regular services and then have like a list of pain points specific to that service underneath. But I would maybe pick out like a few and go like balancing property and investing. I'm trying to read some of the other ones. Like have like 4 or 5 that you can regularly refer to in your content, so then they become like caricatures of your ideal client almost.
Abby, like it. James Hartley.
Well, I was just thinking you've already educated me, because I invest for my godson and I didn't know about the lifetime ISA with a 25%.
Writing notes.
Yeah.
I've genuinely just written that down. So,
You've been educated.
I was just being educated. So
yeah, it's definitely a great way just to get into your first house. You can also just keep letting it go until you retire, but sort of the main
right
from
point
the
here there
is
is Noxie, that if James Hartley's thinking it, or have just learned from that, there are hundreds of thousands of other James Hartleys out there.
Yeah, and I would also say as well, like the big thing that from the 2 sessions that I've done that you always point out is, and I think is really difficult in anything to do with the government and banks and HMRC, is the little loopholes. So like just with the 4,000 in the ISA, it's like you would, the kind of like terms and conditions of it is you would have to live in that property and it goes towards your first property. So all them little loopholes is the things that people need pointed out to them, that if that applies to them or not.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not really common knowledge unless you're looking into it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I was just thinking on the back of the fact that you'd educated me about me investing for my godson. You know, maybe it's a content thing. You know, have you got relatives who are investing money for you, or have you got people who are giving you money? Is it doing the best for you for the future?
Okay.
Particularly if you're targeting all these people with trust funds and stuff. You know, they may have, you know, uncles or godparents who are saving for the money, saving it in the best way.
Especially the property ISA, because you could do that you could have like one that everyone pays into, family members and stuff like that, for Christmases and stuff, and then they get a quarter of it on top of it and it goes towards them helping for the property. Or you could do one that's focused on education. That's so expensive now for university, like if people want to go to university and things like that. Like the key things that young people struggle with is like paying for university, they end up having to pay debts back, getting on the property ladder, things like that. You could like do them as key pain points.
That's a good point about the university, actually. I could mention sort of have that in one of my
point here is, James, I've just poked the bear, so to speak. And how many content ideas have you just got off the back of that?
About 15, probably.
Right. Okay. So point is, go out later on at 12:30 when you've got this client call, ask him, you know, questions around that. What are your misconceptions around money and stuff like that? And you'll get content ideas off the back of that. If he doesn't turn it to a client, guess what? You've just walked away with five different content ideas. So again, this is just backing up what I'm constantly saying. Go out, ask questions, listen, and you'll get content ideas. It'll help you understand what the market's misconceiving about your market or your field. And then it'll also give you content ideas to educate based on what people are actually saying in the world, not going down the dangerous route of, I'm going to talk about this today, and I think people will be interested in hearing this. Where have you got that from? You know, the people might not want to hear that. But actually taking real examples from real conversations is what helps you resonate.
Yeah.
You have resonated already, mate. Go on.
I was going to say, well, if someone mentions it, the likely chance is they're not the only one struggling with it. Like the person who commented about how to get started investing.
Exactly.
I thought that's probably one of the biggest problems people my age are facing, really. Yeah.
And just like on a point of, you know, bringing some more engagement to your videos, start it off with, if you're not already, I think you are, start it with a visual and verbal hook.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Which is literally in response to one of these.
Yeah.
So you could literally write out, I have no clue what to do with my money in my bank, on a text overlay for a video moving forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, is sort of ask a question and then answer the question. The video. Yeah.
Good. Okay, great. Well, that's spot on. Okay, I think you've just a bit of refinement now.
Yeah.
Moving forward. Cool. I'm going to leave it there. Any questions? Any aha moments from today? All of you, go on, share an aha. James Knox, I'm sure you've got loads.
Yeah. Well, it's just sort of I quite like the prop idea. I might try and sort of get started with that.
You're in an easy position to do that.
Mhm.
I can struggle because I'm doing personal branding. I can bring props into it, but it's a lot easier for you if you're talking about money, because money can be quantified. Is that the right
Yeah,
term?
yeah.
Right. And it can be visualized, whereas
And
it's a
then
bit more
I
difficult to
think
visualize.
I was a bit more focused on the education side, whereas
Yeah.
you've sort of made me realize I need to be picking at these pain points that people
Yeah.
probably experiencing.
And also just reflecting on that, James, why was it a pain point for you? So I wasn't in the stock market, and then I realized that I wasn't doing something. So if you can make it personal to what was an aha moment for you, then that might resonate with somebody else as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So bringing your lived experience into your mission, which
Yeah.
helps build an emotional connection, I think is what you were trying to say, wasn't it, James?
Yeah. See, I do listen to what you say, Ben.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Having it drummed
You're
into
my disciples.
now.
Disciples. Yeah, bringing. I think, are you doing that at all? No, I don't think you are really, James Knox, are you? Because we haven't really. But yeah, bringing your emotional why as to why you're doing this and where you struggled into it, which helps build that emotional connection with people.
So I could sort of say that, because for me, I've had to read it all and watch YouTube videos aimed sort of for people in their 30s, whereas could I just sort of say there was nothing really out there for people like us?
Yeah.
So that's sort of what I'm aiming to do. Is just
that's your mission. You're sick of it. You're fed up. Get passionate about it.
Translate it to a 20-year-old.
Start showing some, passion and emotion behind it in your videos. Like, I'm sick of seeing not seeing education around money in school. I am too, mate. Go on.
And there's also something really powerful about that line, people like us, because you're immediately putting yourself in their shoes rather than saying people like you, people like us. It just gives it immediately a different edge.
Yeah. Resonate. That's resonating. Yeah. Abby, any takeaways from today?
I don't have anything to add to that, but what you were just talking about reminded me of is it the Barclays advert where it's like your impression of money comes from being like 5 or something like that, and they have all the kids that go into the bank? That kind of reminds me of that bit.
There you go. Take inspiration from that. Any aha moments today, Abby?
Just to ask people, like, why.
Yeah. Dig deeper. Keep digging deeper. That's the way you're going to keep learning. Asking awkward questions. That's what I've learned over the past 12 months. Ask questions you don't really want to know the answer to. But in fact, when people answer them, they're actually brilliant. And you're like, oh, wow. Yeah. Happy, everyone?
Yeah.
Happy to leave it there?
Excellent.
Lovely. All right. Well, moving forward then. Okay. So, before we go, just format-wise, moving forward then, I'll put a post on the personal brand hub on Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever, plenty of days notice. And I want you to share with me, something that you might in particular want to cover. If we don't get a chance to cover it in the session, we can move it to the next session. And I want you to think about stuff like this. So content, you could be like, you've attracted a bad client and you're like, where have they come from? How have they slipped through the cracks? It could be that you've got a podcast coming up. It could be that you've got a speaking gig coming up, or it could be that you want a speaking gig and we could talk about how to get speaking gigs. I just want to talk about, stuff that's going on in your lives rather than me pulling stuff out of a hat. Okay. And then we can bring that theme to the Friday session and I'll build a bit of structure around it. Okay.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is don't undermine the impact of your hat, Ben.
Well, we'll mix it up. Yeah.
There's some good stuff in your hat.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to write that down.
There's some good stuff in the hat.
Look, if I've seen any stuff in your content or output in that previous week, then I'll bring it up. I'll be like, well, here's what you maybe done this wrong, we could touch on this. So it can be reactive as well to the stuff you guys are putting out. Right. Love you and leave you. Have a fabulous weekend.
Weekend, peeps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Later.
See you next week.
Thanks for your help, guys. Cheers.
No worries. Bye-bye.